Good morning, dear students. Today, again, let me welcome and invite you to this session of our discussion for 9th English 2. And before going to discuss the today's discussion today, let's have Brahmanath for better concentration. Please sit Siddha, Dhyana Mudra, and have Brahmanath. Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Relax. Dear students, let me invite you to this class. And we have been discussing about a topic called correct use of nouns. Before one topic also we did discuss that was subject-verb agreement. As far as the correct use of nouns, we understood everything about it, and after that we have solved one exercise in the last class, Exercise-5, and today we are going to discuss and understand to solve the errors or correct the errors available in Exercise-5. But though we have been a little distance of classes in a week, therefore let me, before going to discuss this exercise, let me recall your knowledge about this subject. And today, when one statement comes to my mind today, what it is, you can say the correct the following sentences. Here, the title of the statements given is correct the following sentences. That means there are some sentences we will correct their errors. Very important. Because it is very important. So how can we correct the errors? How can we correct the sentences? As far as our knowledge is concerned, we can correct based on two things. Because two subjects we have learnt till date. One is the subject plus verb agreement. And another subject we are learning the correct use of nouns. Correct use of nouns. So when we talk about the nouns, we understood about the nouns when we discussed about subject. But besides that, we also understood nouns have been used in three ways. Yes or no? So I am just trying to recall your idea. The discussions we have made in our earlier classes, so that we can clearly understand. Let me brief outline about our discussion earlier before going to exactly discuss this exercise 5. Let's understand. Please understand. So here we not only the nouns, we also use pronouns, but we use pronouns as well. Nouns as well as pronouns have been used in 4 different ways that you know. One is as a subject we use them. We use them as an object. We also use their possessive and reflexive. As far as subject-verb agreement, we understood the subject and object to a lot of extent. And as far as the correct use of nouns are concerned, we are discussing the possessive cases. Yes or no? So this topic completely dealing with the possessive case of noun. Possessive case means what? Possessive case means when we think that something belongs to someone, something is someone's possession. That means the question comes whose? Yes or no? So when we talk about this whose or the possessive means a question comes whose, that we discussed earlier. When we talk about whose pen is this? We say whose means we are being asked in two ways. One is to talk about the ownership. For that we use apostrophe s or s apostrophe or of. For non-living things, for plural subjects ending with s, and for singular subjects for their possessives, we do like such. That we will discuss later on. Again, I am just recalling you your past knowledge. Similarly, when we discussed number 2, this is number 1, we discussed the authorship. I am writing just to recall. Then we discussed the origin. Then we discussed the kind of this ownership. Rama's book, boys' school, leg of the chair, Shakespeare's dramas, plays, court's order, mother's love. So these things we did discuss in our previous classes. I am just recalling this before we are going to have the correct the following sentences. How can we correct unless we can recall those rules and regulations we have learned and have been learning? Okay. So when we talk about this possessive case and all this, we have three different things, three parts while we discussed this possessive case. Let me tell you. What we discussed when we discussed the possessive case, I am just writing this to recall you. Don't be in confused. What we are discussing there, they have been our topic. We have discussed in several classes. I am just recalling your past knowledge. Try to recall them. If you have been through them, you will surely understand. So what we have discussed while talking about possessive case? Formation of possessive case. What we discussed? Formation of possessives. Then we used use of possessives. Then singular and plural form of nouns where we make the possessive cases. You see, so while discussing about the possessive case, when we have the question of whose, at the same time the possessive cases we can form with using s apostrophe s or s apostrophe or of for non-living things, the rules we discussed. But possessive cases we have been using for two different purposes. How many purposes? Two different purposes. One is to talk about the ownership. Another is when we are talking about the authorship or we are talking about the origin, as well as to talk about the kind. But the thing is here, the question comes, how we can form the possessive cases, the rules we have learned. Similarly, how we will use the possessive cases, the rules also we have learned. If you go through the previous topics, previous videos, previous discussions, you can easily recall them. Similarly, also we discussed singular and plural form of nouns and using possessive case, which nouns can only be singular even if they are plural in form, which nouns never become plurals, which nouns never become singulars. Those rules also we have learned, we understood in the previous classes. I will advise you, please revise them. I am just revising graphically so that you can easily recall what the discussions we did, we had discussed in the previous and the previous classes. Today, before discussing this, let us have some ideas about them. If you want, we can revise also every individual subject. Okay, so let's understand briefly about individual, this formation, use of possessive and singular and plural, all those things, so that you can recall and it will be helpful to solve and to correct the errors available in the sentences we will be discussing. Okay, so just wait, we will discuss briefly about the formation of possessives at first. Here you see, we are briefly discussing, we are not analyzing them as we discussed earlier. I am just recalling you. You see, while formation of possessive case, when we are forming the possessive case, we know we use apostrophe S to make a possessive of a singular subject. Like Rama, Ramos car. Horace, computer. Horace, bicycle. And we also use like boys, you see, when we are talking about boys, it is a plural subject, and to make the possessive case of that, we use apostrophe after the S because it is a plural subject like such. Similarly, when we are talking about the possessive case of non-living things, I have already told you that we use of. We cannot say legs, chair's leg. As the example earlier I have given, we can say leg of the chair. We cannot say chair's leg. Okay, so that is the rule we understood. Similarly, to form the plural, to form the possessive case of some plural subjects, you know, some plural, boys is a plural subject but ends with S. But some plural subject, those do not end with S, like children, people. Okay, so these man, woman. So when we are using such words which are already plural but do not end with S or ES, what do we do? We simply use apostrophe S, like any and. It's a plural subject, doesn't end with S, but we use to make their possessive, we use apostrophe S, not S apostrophe. Okay, so that will be understood. Similarly, when we are talking about the title consists of several, Johnson and Johnson. It is a title, a noun, but it has more than one word. The title's last word will take the possessive. So we can make Johnson and Johnsons. Okay, Johnson and Johnson apostrophe S. Okay, the Nawab of Bengal's palace. We can say like such. Understood? We are recalling. So this is what the rules we understood previously to have the formation of the possessive cases. Let's understand a little about the use of possessive cases when we are using. Let me write something so that you can better understand. Here you see, we use the possessive case. Means when we can, with what we can use the possessive cases, that is given over here in this second discussion. This is what the use of possessive case. How we use. So we use in those cases. First, when the noun denoting a living thing. When a noun is denoting a living thing, Ramos, cows, cats, understand? So when we are talking about a living thing, we can make their possessive case. Okay? Teachers, understand? Teacher apostrophe S, teachers means S apostrophe also you can do. That is living things. Similarly, personified things which we have symbolized or personified, like India's heroes. Okay, America's armies. Understand? So these are personified things. Dignified objects, court's order, as I have told you. Similarly, some other things also we use like such. Dignified things. Similarly, when we are talking about times, 1 hour, space, arms length, weight, quintals weight, value 500 rupees value. Okay, so similarly some kind of places and buildings. The Queen's, that means Queen's College. So those discussions we have earlier made and examples we have discussed. We are discussing just to recall them. Okay, so this is how we are using the possessive case. Understand? Similarly, we are using them for singular and plural form. What are those? That also let's recall. Okay, let me write. Here, let us understand. After understanding the formation of possessives, the use of possessive cases, we also understood the singular and the plural use of nouns. While understanding the singular and plural use of nouns, we went through all those things. What is that? Some nouns used only as singular. Some nouns we are using as singular. We can never make them plural. What are they? Like furniture, luggage, information, advice, bread, all those things. Such nouns we can never make them use as a plural subject. They are often singular. Similarly, some nouns when we see, we think it is in plural form, but it has a singular in sense. So we often use singular verb with them. It looks plural, but it is often used as singular. Okay, it has this singular sense. What are they? Innings, politics, news, mathematics, physics, economics, all those words when we see, because they normally end with the S, so we assume it is a plural noun, but exactly they are singular. Their form is plural, but their sense is singular. Similarly, we understood some nouns never used as a singular form. There are some nouns we can never use them as singulars. What are they? Scissors, that has two identical parts. Trousers, scissors, spectacles, they can never be used as singular. They often have two similar parts in one unit. They often use plural subjects. Similarly, collective nouns are singular. Some collective nouns when we see, we will think that it is singular because its formation is singular. It looks like singular. Here you see politics is looking like the plural subject, plural noun, but here it is exactly singular. But some nouns looking singular form, but used as plural. What are they? Gentry. Gentry means a class of people. That means some higher category of people in the society. Poultry means where we make the farm of animals and birds, we can say the poultry. It is a collective noun. Cattle means a large number of cows in one place is cattle. People means a group, a gathering of a number of people persons in one place is called people. Vermin means this swarms, different animals and different insects, those who are harming our poultry, our farms as well as our agricultural products, they are called vermins. They can never be used as singular, though it seems they seem to be singular in their form but plural in sense, so we use plural verbs with them. Similarly, a noun when used as adjective never takes plural form. Suppose a noun is used in adjective. Here you see 5 rupees note. Here it is used as adjective, so never takes a plural form. Similarly, the 3-hour examination, it is often used as singular, never take the plural forms. So all those things, the formation, the use and the singular plural form of nouns we understood in the previous classes, and today also I revised to recall your understanding of your previous understanding. Let's discuss a few sentences of your exercise 5 with all those rules we understood. Okay, let me write them. Here you see in your exercise 5, which instructs us that correct the following sentences. That means these sentences have some errors. These sentences have some errors. We have to rectify. How can we rectify? We can rectify in accordance to the rules, we have learned about the correct use of nouns, their possessives, the formation of possessives, use of possessives, and singular and plural use of nouns. These three things we discussed earlier. Now you can remember and recall. Here you see in the first sentence, he is Mohan's and Sohan's father. Here father is one. We don't need to give possessive cases either of them. It's a singular subject. He is one person. So instead of writing over here Mohan's, we can write Mohan and Sohan's father. It is correct. Mohan and Sohan's father. Not Mohan's and Sohan's father. Next comes, where is my spectacle? Spectacle means, you see, I have told you the spectacle contains two identical parts, two similar things. They always used as plural nouns. So here we have to use spectacles. This is the error. So unless we will write the plural noun over here, our sentence becoming incorrect. So similarly, he won 100 meters race. 100 meter is a single patch of distance. Therefore, we don't need to write S over here. We can simply write he won 100 meter race, not 100 meters race. Similarly, many BAs and MAs. You see, BA dot S is given. We have to, and MA dot S is given. But here incorrectness is what? We have to make apostrophe S. Here also apostrophe S. BS, that means making them possessives. Okay, are without any job these days. Okay, so similarly, I live in the boys' hostel. Here see, boys means we are talking about a group of people. That means a class of people, that boys, a plural subject, a collective noun, where it ends with S. So to make it possessive, we have to put apostrophe after the S. As I have told you, the plural subjects end with the S, takes the possessive symbol after the S. That means after the boys, we make the apostrophe to make their possessive cases. You understood in accordance to the rule. So similarly, write this in your copy. Copy means what? Copy means it is confusing. So copy means people can take it in different meanings. Suppose to clarify its meaning, we can write a copy note or copy book. Instead, copy notebook also you can write. So write this in your copy note or copy book you can write. This is home. This is home. This is the home. This is the home in which I live. Home means what? Home is not just a house. Home is everything. The world is our home. So home means its meaning, if we go into analyzing its meaning, it will be different. Therefore, here the meaning, the statements, the sentences meaning denotes it is not talking about the complete entire world as our home. It is talking about where we live in. That means instead of using over here home, we can use house. This is the house in which I live, particularly. Home has a broader meaning. Similarly, we are going by the 5:30 o'clock train. So here, not necessarily when we are talking about the timing of the train, we don't need to write o'clock. Whenever you visit to the stations, you will find the casting of the timing and number and the name of those trains we are faring, we are moving and going to different destinations. Their timing is not talking about o'clock. It is only talking about 5:30 train. Understood? These are some of the errors. We can solve some other errors right now, and let's see how far we can solve them. Let's write. Here you see again some sentences have been written of which we will find the errors and correct them as per the rules we understood. You see, Please give me some bottling. Please give me some bottling. As I have told you, here some bottling means it is a matter of confuse. Please give me some blotting. Blotting means what? Blotting means it is a matter of confusing. Therefore, if we will use blotting paper, some blotting papers, then it will be easier for everyone, the layman even understand. Similarly, this book's price is 20 rupees. Book's price, books means what? Books is a non-living thing. We cannot write book's price just like a chair's leg. So similarly, what we will do? The price of this book. If we write it, then it will be correct. The price of this book is 20 rupees. Then it is correct. Not this book's price. Similarly, the chair's arm. Here also the chair's arm, which is a non-living thing. Just I have told you. What we will do? The arm of this chair. The arm of this chair. Then it will be correct. So he doesn't know even the alphabets. He doesn't know. That means he has little knowledge, no knowledge about even the alphabets. Here, he doesn't know even alphabets, not necessary, because not a single alphabet he doesn't know. Therefore, instead of writing alphabets, we can make it singular. He doesn't know even the alphabet of English, not the alphabets of English. Okay? So similarly, 200 boys. 200 boys. So boys is already a plural subject. When we are talking about hundreds, it will be wrong. So we can make it 200 boys will be correct. Okay? For singular and plural use of nouns, when we are using as an adjective, a noun is used as an adjective. Understand? So it can never be plural. So the people is angry with the minister. People means, people is already a plural subject, though it seems like singular in form, but it is a plural in sense and meaning. Therefore, instead of is, we can use are over here. The people are angry with the minister. I have bought many new machineries. Machineries is such a word we should not use in here. We can say it will be easier to understand machines. I have bought many new machines can be a plural noun. Okay? So, because we have used many. Clear? So, the trees leaves. The trees leaves have fallen. Tree is a non-living thing we do. What we can say? The leaves of the tree. The leaves of the tree have fallen. Understand? The leaves of a tree. Rule, non-living thing. So, I have many works. Many works. Here you see, work is such a thing that is not a countable noun. So, work is never a countable noun in this sense. What we can use, we cannot make works over here. We can say, also we cannot make many because it becoming uncountable noun. So we can make much work. Not many works, but it will be much work because it is a uncountable noun, an uncountable noun. Therefore, before uncountable noun, we need to use much to demonstrate its quantity or the amount. Okay, so instead of many works, we can make it much work to do. This kettle is mine. You see, kettle is seems to be singular in form, but plural in meaning and sense. Therefore, a large number of cows gathering in one place is called cattle. Therefore, we cannot use is over here. We can use are over here. Okay, so you understood how did you correct the errors available in those sentences? Let me tell you another 2 to 3 sentences so that we will complete one part of this exercise 5. Another part I will send you the questions as well as its answers so that you can yourself understand and write in your notebooks. Okay, wait. Here you see there are another 2 statements available in your exercise 1. Exercise 5 part 1. You have 2 parts in exercise 5. It is part A and part B. We are discussing the part 1. And the last 2 sentences we will correct their errors of your part 1. Okay? So now discuss. I have bought 2 scores mangoes and 3 dozens bananas. What we will do? 3 scores of mangoes and 1 dozen of bananas. Okay? And what is the incorrectness here? What is the error? So when we have already used 2, we don't need to make scores. We can make 2 score mangoes and 3 dozen bananas. Then only our sentence is correct. Instead of writing 2 scores mangoes, we have to write 2 score mangoes. Instead of writing 3 dozens of bananas, we should write 3 dozen bananas. Okay? So next is see, soldiers must obey the order of their officers. Soldiers must obey the order of their officers. When officers give order, that is not a single order. It is often a lot of orders given at a time or some time to time. Therefore, we cannot write soldiers, officers' orders are singular. So, we should make them orders. Soldiers must obey the orders of their officers or officer. Okay? Today, we understood the part 1 of exercise 5. And the part 2, that means section B part is also similar. I will send you the questions as well as their answers with that so that you can write in the notebook. And that is also, as we have solved in this A, is also similar. So you can understand. If you don't understand, please call me personally. I will solve your doubts, or during doubt clearance classes also you can ask the teacher to clarify your doubts. After watching these videos and studying them, please give me your comments so that I will be more happy and rectify to develop the teaching styles and the speeds and everything. So my job is to make you just understand, okay, clearly with confidence, so that you can anytime make your statements correct for speaking and writing. And for today, only this much. Okay?